Joan went out of her way and she connected with Bob, and she asked him to just come over and share some wisdom with our team tonight. And also, I want to bring Joan before Bob gets on the call, because Joan was telling me about how excited she was and how much value she got out of one of Bob Goshen's programs. So I think Joan's on the call. Joan, are you here?
Yeah, I am.
Okay,
Thank
awesome.
you so much. I'm just so honored. Like, you don't even understand what an honor this is for me. So I got to connect with Bob and his wife Kay when we were in Mexico. And before that, just listening to him in leadership, and I absolutely adore your leadership. And I just told him I have pen and paper every time I'm with him so I can take notes. So Bob, I'm so blessed to be able to introduce you tonight. So Bob Goshen has 5 decades in the network marketing industry. He's built 2 organizations to the top 1% of income with over 500,000 distributors worldwide. This is his 3rd company, which is amazing to me that this is only his 3rd company. And he sold his last business and then was retained by some of the top CEOs of the largest MLMs to mentor them and their top leaders and earners. So I hope that you guys can feel how excited I am to have this opportunity when so many other people pay lots and lots of money to have this kind of time with this gentleman. So he is also one of the masterminds behind this amazing business model of social retail. And I am just blessed, humbled, and excited to be able to introduce Bob Goshen to you.
Joan, thank you so very much. Golly, that's great. And hey, Mike, so good to hear your voice tonight. We don't talk enough, my friend. True. We're too busy in the shooting range, I think. I mean, it was really amazing that day. I saw you at that video, right? Yeah, you brought out all your heavy equipment. I'm going, I got one of those. So, we're ready, aren't we, brother? I'm telling you. We're ready, brother. We're ready. And Joan, you're such a delight, and thank you so much. And gosh, you just, the day that we first met and we started visiting from that day forward, Mike, and I think you'll understand, because you've been in this industry quite some time. Sometimes you can look in people's eyes. I think I can more than not, just because of the years I've been in. And I always talk about guys, there's walkers and there's talkers. Walkers are the ones that walk the walk and make it happen. Talkers are those that come in and tell you how great they are and how they're going to do things, and then they're gone. And when I looked in Joan's eyes the first time, I said, she's going to make this work. Of course, I knew Mike. I followed Mike's history, and I know his background. And the guy is incredible. So you guys have got a tremendous team here. And that really is what it takes. My new book will be coming out, which won't be out until December or January. It's called Creating a Contagious Culture. I'm not here to promote a book. Trust me, I'll get it out when it's ready. But the whole concept is how to get a team moving in one direction. One vision, one voice, one set of values. And that's really what we're doing here in Modere, as you're witnessing at this time. But Mike is also he understands probably more than I do on some of these things. So, Mike, I honor you, and I thank you so very much. And Joan, I can't say enough. If you guys know anything about me, I always start by saying, get a pen and a piece of paper out. Get a pen and get a piece of paper out. Get a pen and a piece of paper out. Now, I don't have Alzheimer's, but you'll hear me repeating myself a lot. And the reason for that is I've learned over my 50 years that nobody gets it the first time. Nobody gets it the first time. Nobody gets it the first time. So I really want to be redundant when I go over some of these things this evening. And I also want you to be taking a note, because one of my mentors many years ago was a guy named Dexter Yeager, and he made a statement. We usually start our leadership conferences with just the top leaders of that team at 11 at night and end at 5 in the morning. And he never stopped, and we'd just be taking notes. And I remember so vaguely that he made this statement. He said, I'm going to be sharing some things with you now that you do not and will not understand because you don't have the organization yet. But trust me, write down some of these things I'm saying, and a few years down the road, you're going to go back to these notes and say, I get it, I get it, I get it. So I want to start by saying, get a piece of paper, get a pen. Whenever you're around your mentor, Mike, Joan, whoever your mentors are, always have a pen and paper. Whenever I was with Zig Ziglar, whenever I was with Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, whenever I was with anyone that had a lot of wisdom, John Maxwell, I'd always have a pen and paper around. I'd always be writing because it may just be one word, it may just be one sentence, it may be one paragraph, but it's essential because either you'll become a student of this type of business or you're not. And it's very serious to Kay and I because it's been very, very good to us, and we want to make it good for you. So let's start getting a pen and paper and get ready because unless you record some of the things I say, it will never become yours. Unless you record, it never becomes yours. Unless you record, it never becomes yours. It's borrowed information. If you listen to Mike speak and you just sit there and you just keep your hands folded, oh, you're so motivated, he's so excited, and you don't write anything down that he said. You had great entertainment, but you learned nothing. So tonight, I want to help you. I want to help you not only when I work with people, I want to help you personally, because in my book, The Power of Layered Leadership, the thesis is when you get the person right, the business works. When you get the person right, the marriage works. When you get the business, it all starts at the basis of the person. So hang with me here. We're going to flow through this. I was speaking to a group the other day in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was, I don't remember the name of the company. It was a big organization there. And there was a lady on the front row who was a speech therapist. And when I was finished, she came up and said, Mr. Goshen, do you realize that you speak at 276 words per minute? Really? She said, yes. And I said, well, hang on, because sometimes I'll have gusts up to 350. I mean, I get excited about what I'm talking about, and I want you to get excited tonight. So let's go. Let's get started. I'm going to break this down in 3 parts tonight if I can, because I know you guys' time's valuable. I know a lot of you have kids right now that are in school, and you want to get back to them, get them ready for in the morning. We've been through that routine. Now we do it with grandkids, which is exciting. But I want to break it down in 3 areas if I can. First, if I can, just to kind of loosen this up a little bit, I want to give you a short, very brief historical background on how this thing called Modere started. Because sometimes now, we've been going for 4 years, you get distance between what really happened and what everybody's saying. And sometimes I hear some of these stories, I'm going, God, did we do that? So I'll just give you a brief history so that you get some idea how this came together and why we believe it's a sovereign deal, it's a God thing, and we're excited about it. Number 2, I want to break down this evening so that you really understand the difference between MLM and Modere. There's a major difference. I'm going to give you a lot of points that I want you to write down and take down on notes because you need to take these and internalize them. And so that would be number 2. And then number 3, I'm going to end with a short chapter in my book. I'm just going to take a little snapshot of something I talked about over the years on the separation between 97-3. What 97% of the people do that never win, and what the 3% do that do win. So that's where we're going to go tonight. So hang on and let's go. Let's have a little fireside chat right now. Like Joan said, I've been in this industry now a long time. I really have, and it's been enjoyable. But I'm not a jumper. Kay and I never jump from company to company. We were in a decade for the first one. We were 16 years for the second one. Because I'm a firm believer that you have to get in and not only build it, but you got to secure it. You got to build it, but you got to secure it. Oh my goodness, you got to build it, but you got to secure it. As you're building this business, you're going to have to be securing your customers. You're going to have to be securing your social marketers. If not, you'll be rebuilding it 3 months from today, 9 months from today. Trust me, it's harder to build it the second time than it is the first time with all the passion. So as we took off and we started building those organizations, we were just really blessed. But I understood at the very beginning, write this down, I had to decentralize power. I had to decentralize power. I had to decentralize power. See, there's 2 types of leader in the world, and especially in this industry. And sometimes in this industry, it's the first type. The first type likes to centralize power. They want all the power coming to me. Hey, look at me on the stage. Hey, look at me, I'm your leader. Hey, and those folks can never duplicate. And the key to this industry, and all industries really, is to duplicate leadership. So don't centralize power. Give away all your knowledge. Give away all that you can to help people grow. Well, we did that in a couple organizations. I was the very first person to go into Russia with network marketing. I went in during perestroika. I mean, there was nothing in there. People were selling their furniture, selling their clothes, and here I am over there trying to set this thing up. And I was also the first one in the industry to go to a place called India. So I really immediately got on the outside of the United States. I built pretty strong in the U.S., but I went outside and started building internationally. And many of you guys right now that are on this call will be going international in the future. It's a wonderful experience, and you need to see other parts of the world. And that part of the world took off. I mean, we just went out and did what you guys are doing right now. We shared the dream, and we shared a very simple compensation plan that would fulfill the dream. I sold that last business after 16 years, and Kay and I looked at each other and said, what are we going to do? And so I started writing. I wrote my first book at that time called The Power of Layered Leadership. You can get it on Amazon. And at the same time, I got contacted by Direct Sales Magazine, DSM, who DSA is the Direct Sales Organization. They have this magazine that only goes to CEOs of direct sales. I'm sitting here with them on it's called Direct Selling News. I'm sorry. And so they contacted me and said, Mr. Goshen, I understand, you've done this, you've done that. And we talked a little bit. And they said, would you write a story if we give you some ink? Well, getting ink in that magazine is it's a great honor. Because remember, this magazine only goes to CEOs of network marketing companies. So I wrote an article in there, and I still have it right here somewhere, talking about, do you really understand the power that you have in your hands, the hope that people come in with? And I kind of did a very kind, blistering article trying to tell these CEOs that it's men and women every night believing in you, don't let them down. And I kind of wrote it from that perspective. And I also said, hey, if anyone in here would like to have a free copy of my book, if you're a CEO, I'll let you have it. Well, doggone, my emails went off. My assistant started calling me saying these guys want my book. And so out of nowhere, again, a providential thing, I want you to listen to this story as I lead you to where we are today. A providential thing, all of a sudden, I'm contacted by some of these CEOs. They want my book. After they read my book, they contact me and say, hey, will you come in? And I would be coming into some of these major corporations. I don't want to share their names. They're big companies. And they sit down and they said, how did you do it? How do you do it? How do you inspire people? How do you keep them alive? How do you keep them growing? How do you know? And it was amazing to me, you understand this, it was amazing to see how many CEOs don't really understand the heart of the distributor. They don't understand the heart of the social marketer because the majority of them have never played in the field. They don't understand what you go through. So as I went on, all of a sudden I started getting speaking engagements. I was asked also to do major leadership events for their top leaders. And here we go. God's providence takes me into, I'll mention this one company, a company named Zengo. And they got a hold of me. Good size company, still are today. And I go in and they wanted me to keynote an event in Florida and then also do a leadership session for their top leaders. So here we go. Watch God's hand. This is amazing. So I go in and when I'm backstage, I'm walking backstage, okay? And as I'm walking backstage, this guy comes up and he says, Mr. Goshen, you're a legend. You're God. And I'm going, and it embarrasses the heck out of me when I hear that stuff, But first of all, when somebody tells you you're a legend, that means you're close to dying, so you don't really want to hear that. But you're a legend. Well, that guy's name was Justin Prince. Watch this now. Justin was getting ready to go up after I spoke because he was one of the fastest growing distributors at that time. Well, as I go around and I go up on the platform, I do my thing, I get off the platform. When I get off, this guy comes up and he says, I'll tell you what, that was incredible. You're amazing. I want to use you more for this company. And he was the CEO of Zengo. His name was Robert Conley. Are you guys grabbing this now? Here's what I'm trying to tell people. I want you guys to hear me out here. You are one person away from changing your entire destiny in life. But you've got to get out there and get amongst people in order to do that. So that's where we came together. And that's where we first met. Now, life goes on, and we, shortly after that, I get a phone call from Justin Prince, and he said, Mr. Goshen, I just sold my business in Zengo. I'm with another company now, and would you mind if I ask you a few questions on marketing, because I need your help in this area of marketing for this company? I said, well, sure. And I said, I'll tell you what, matter of fact, I'm flying out to L.A., you're in Salt Lake, let me just dip down. He said, what? I said, well, I'll just dip down. I'll give you, 2 or 3 hours with you and your CEO over this deal. And that's where Justin and I started jamming a little bit, and it was another company. It was not network marketing. Then I'm going on down the road, and going about a month later, I get a phone call from a guy named Robert Conley. And Robert says, hey, Bob, he says, listen, I just wanted you to know that I stepped down as CEO of Zango, and I'm kind of looking, but I'm not looking. I'm not hurting or anything. But if you're out there, I know you're with all these companies. If you know one that's looking for a good CEO, let me know. Are you guys seeing how this is coming together? You know, here, all these years I've been set up for this particular time, and how all this worked with me writing a book, and here it comes back, and here I am, and I meet these two guys. I said, well, sure, I'll keep my eyes open, Robert. And Robert and I just became friends. I mean, it wasn't intimate. We just, every once in a while, we'd send emails back and forth, how you doing, this, that, and the other. Then all of a sudden, I get this contact from Prince, and he says, hey, I had to have him stop calling me Mr. Goshen. Hey, Bob, he said, I think we're on to something here. And I said, well, I'll tell you what, if it's network marketing, I'm not on to it. I said, I will support the industry. I will teach leadership. I'll build people up. I'll do all that I can, and I know how to do that. I don't want to make another round of this thing. I mean, we've done well. We've been blessed, but it's just difficult for people today to make this work with this model. He said, well, that we got an opportunity here. Long story short, they convinced me to get on a plane and fly out in August of 2012. Guys, that's 4 years ago. And this is where our Modere started. The three of us, and I'm trying to think, Steve Lodge out there. And we talked for about 4 hours. And here was our conversation. All three of us were tired. We were tired of what we were seeing. We were tired about all of the bodies we were seeing. We were tired about, and maybe intentionally or not intentionally, some of the lies that some of the owners were saying to some of their people, some of the things that were happening. And so we spent 4 hours there, and here's all that we came up with. We said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And we all looked at each other, and we said, can we do this? And Robert had already stepped into new ways as our CEO with the ability to do whatever he needed to do to turn that company around. Guys, that's how Modere started. And I'm saying all this to say something to you. The CEO of this company and Justin Prince have a heart for you. I've been around them all. I've been around the top of the top, okay, from both distributor side and CEO side, whatever. Our whole conversation for 4 hours is how can we help people win? This model is not working. So Modere was kind of birthed, Sundance, that was the name, it was kind of birthed at that time. I stopped everything that I was doing, which was a major decision for us because I was out speaking and honorariums were high. I was selling books, doing a lot of coaching online. And Robert and I, Robert asked me, he said, are you all in? I'm all in with you. And I moved out there and lived the first year as we put this thing together. Justin Prince's heart is as big as Robert Conley's. So that's how this started. And then it took off. And I could talk to you about so many other things that happened. You would laugh your brains out if you heard some of the things. So, we'd go down one alley and that wouldn't work. We'd go down another alley and that wouldn't work. But ultimately, we knew this. We had to create an opportunity where more people could participate and win. We all agreed the fact that with the existing model of network marketing, the majority of people did not have the ability to build massive groups. And that was our platform. So that's how I got started. We're excited about where it's going today. We're excited. I mean, when I look back right now, we still have some work to do. But then when I started seeing some of the people that God has brought into this organization, including Mike and Joe, and the guys that are just coming in, I'm going, I couldn't recruit this kind of people in my entire life. And they're just coming in and saying, hey, we feel good about this home. So you guys are in a great place. You're at a great time. We're not even off the doggone ground yet. You guys listening tonight, get your checkbooks ready. You're going to be putting more money in your checking account than you can ever imagine. But more importantly, guys, you're going to affect so many people, both physically and mentally. Now, let's segue out of that and share with you, if I can, a little bit about what is the difference. I mean, come on, Bobby. What's the difference between MLM and Modere? I mean, everybody says, like a guy told me the other day, he said, are you like Amway? And I said, no, I'm like Amazon. I said, the difference is Amazon does $78 billion and Amway does 11. See, I'm not chasing. Modere is not chasing network marketing, guys. So the first thing I want you to get locked in your mind is when I'm talking to people, excuse me, Modere is a very active e-commerce site. It's an e-commerce site. We have a backside driven by social marketers, but this whole thing is based on an e-commerce site. So when somebody says, we're here, I have an e-commerce site called Modere.com. You need to go take a look at it. See, I know when I said on Modere.com, they're not going to see anything about rank. They're not going to see anything about, trying to move to your next rank or go on your next trip or anything like that. They're just going to go to an e-commerce site. So lock that into your system, because the one thing that we looked at when we all sat down, the three of us, and began this, we said, look, network marketing is great, but the future is in e-commerce. The future, and as we started putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into this thing to start proving that, that's when we started seeing some of you guys very beginning, we were talking about a shift. And the shift was going from retail to online ordering. And guys, it's a $500 billion shift. So when we started this, we said we want to get into that side. So here's some things that I want you to write down. MLM is distributor-centric. It's distributor-centric, meaning the compensation plan, the products, the events, everything is based upon a distributor. We have to drive a distributor to the next rank. Modere, now let's go across, if you want to just do left side, right side, on the right side, Modere is customer-centric. We are customer-centric. We're wrapped around an e-commerce site, number one. We want to promote great, healthy products, number one. Does that make sense? So we're customer-centric. MLM is distributor-centric. MLM is normally a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, there may be some exceptions to some of the things I'm saying for some of these companies, but for the majority of them, they're a 1-to-1 ratio, meaning the distributor is the buyer of the product. In other words, when I was in, let's take Amway, we had to do $100 a month. Well, we were the customer. We didn't have any real customers. The customer was the distributor. So when you look at most of the models, and a lot of them are getting hammered today, they're seeing this 1-to-1 ratio, that it's just distributor-driven. It has no customers. Modere, on the other hand, has about a 20-to-1 ratio. In other words, on the average, as we're growing and we're seeing this thing grow, we're seeing a lot of people get up to 20, 30 customers. It's nothing for a lot of people to have 5 to 10 customers, which makes a major difference. Next, in MLM, the price point is extremely high on their products. It's a crazy high. Now, why? They had to build that compensation plan based upon the price that they could charge to their distributor. When you go over to our side, we are very competitive in our pricing. Do you agree? In other words, our pricing, if you were not in this as a social marketer trying to build, you would still get some of our products because the price point is right. But remember, most of these companies have high price points. That's why a lot of times they can't even find their mother to buy their products because they're too expensive. I say that from personal experience. MLM supports that model. MLM supports that model. In other words, they support that distributor model. Here's the way that model would work. In the companies, and I was part of that model, I mean, throw the first stone at me, okay? That as we were growing up, as we entered in this business, it was to drive that distributor through behaviors that they would consume as much product as they could and get more people in their group consuming as much product as they could so they could get on the stage and show their new Mercedes that they couldn't afford. I mean, that's the model. That is the model. It's all driven that way by the distributor. Whereas over on our side, it's all supported by the customer model. We really want real customers. Again, MLM is driven by personal consumption and rank. We're driven by customer purchases. The website for the majority of network marketing companies is very confusing. If you go on them tonight, I went on a few of them just to take a look, and they're still pretty confusing. In other words, if I want to buy a product, let's say 8 out of 10 of the sites that I go to, if I want to buy one of their products, either I have to put in my social security number or I have to put in my zip code so that somebody will contact me so that I make sure I'm buying the product from a distributor. Does that make sense? It's just the customers won't do that, right? So the website's confusing. Our website, write it down, is a pure e-commerce site. When you get over in the MLM world, there's no customer science. There's no customer science. You got this comp plan, you got personal consumption, you drive the business by personal consumption, that's it. There's no science behind that. Guys, when we started this, we brought in Robert Finnegan and started working through retail and seeing how the retail world works. We've got software that is equivalent to almost all your software is out there, including Amazon, in that, hey, we see that you ordered this, the person ordered this, also ordered this. In other words, there's a science on how many times you send information out to a customer. There's a science when you promote, when you don't promote. There's a science when you give 25% off. There's a science still working in the retail world of e-commerce. MLM doesn't have that science, okay? It's just distributors. Again, for the most part. Most of them have little control over manufacturing. We control about 90% of all manufacturing at Modere. We want to make sure that we have good, clean products. Here's a big one. In that particular model, it was very awkward. And I think Mike would agree with this. This was an awkward approach. When we first started in mid-70s with Amway, we used what's known as the curiosity approach, right? It was not saying it's right or wrong or whatever, but we knew if we told somebody, hey, I'm in Amway, the majority of them would say, oh, soap salesman. But if we could get them in front of the presentation, we knew we'd close 90% of them. But that's awkward. It's even awkward today. I mean, approaches today. I don't know about the last time you were approached, but Kay and I were somewhere the other day, and it was one of those approaches. Bob, are you happy with the income you had? They had no idea who I was or what I did or anything. I said, well, I'm doing okay. But it was an awkward approach. Now, go over to our approach. Our approach is authentic. We have an authentic approach. You know, we talk to people about, hey, take a look at our website. Hey, you're going to love our products. Isn't that easier? I know it's easier. Do you realize how many guys and gals in our business now, especially gals, are tearing this thing up because of the way they can approach real customers, which they could have never done in MLM. Again, MLM is rank-driven. We're customer-driven. There's only one way to enter. For most MLMs, there's three ways to enter with us. You can come in as a customer, you can come in as a promoter, or you can be a social marketer, or you can be a promoter social marketer, right? And we knew we had to have that because here was the basis. When I looked at my 40-some years that I was in that industry, with the old style, oh gosh, probably less than 1% of the people. It's rare to find a Mike Fernandez. It's rare to find a Tony and Sarah. It's rare. It's rare to find them for building an organization. But you cannot imagine how many people we lost that had the ability to share authentically, like you guys are doing, with an e-commerce site that works with a great product. See, we have that advantage. People like some of you guys right now are making a tremendous amount of money just on the marketing of the products, just building customer pods. We felt that had to happen, and thank goodness it has. There's usually only one way to enter. Again, there's three ways to enter with us. There's no retail revenue share. We share revenue. Industry has a negative image. I think we can all agree with that, and it's really getting where it's even more so with the FTC investigations right now in some of these companies. But e-commerce has a positive. You know, you don't ever hear anybody say anything negative about Amazon, right? Anyway, guys, the very last thing is this: most of the comp plans in network marketing are very, very, very difficult to understand. We're pretty simple. Get 3 legs. Master leg has to, if you want to build a strong E3 to E3, you have 3 legs, right? And one of your biggest leg in line has to have 280,000. The other two have to have a spread of 120. Bingo. You're an E3. Or you're a platinum. Or platinum 2, whatever you want to go on that side. Real simple. I mean, simple explanation. So that's the difference. And if you guys would like to have a slide of what I just went over right there, I'll be happy if you'll send me an email at bob@bobgoshen.com, bob@bobgoshen.com. I'll send that slide out so that you can have it, so you can keep it in front of you to always remember, hey, this is why we're different. I've burned people when they ask me if I'm like Shackley or like, anything out there. No, we're not. I mean, immediately, I'm e-commerce. I'm an e-commerce site. I've got a social marketer package on the backside for those who want to do it. But you understand, guys, in network marketing, you come in one way. You're coming in as a distributor, man. You're coming in to build an organization. And I'm telling you that the majority of people do not have the quality or the skill set to do that. So there we go with that. Now let's close with a little bit of leadership, and then better you guys get back to all your kids. In my book, I don't know where I am on this. I think it's next to the last chapter. It's called Riveted Focus. And I break down and I talk about the 97-3, the 97-3. I want you, again, to get your pen out, and I want you to write these things down. If you came to me today and said, Bob, why is it in your almost 50 years of working with people, both in this industry, outside of this industry, with CEOs, with the U.S. Army, with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, with all your outside engagements where you're training people, what do you see from those that really, really, really make it to the top? I'm going to break some of these down. I think there's only 8 points, and I call it a 97-3. There's only 3% of the people in this nation, and really the world, because I've traveled the world, that expect challenges. They expect them. They don't get up in the morning and pray for, oh, God, give me a challenge, but they expect them. They expect them. They know that's going to be part of their life. 97% of the people are overwhelmed when challenges occur. You've seen that. Some of you guys have come out of that, I'm sure. We were like that prior to entering this industry. 3% are internally driven. And most of the people won't grow because they're externally controlled. Write that down. They're allowing someone on the outside, a circumstance, a situation, a person, control them. But those that go ahead and make it all the way in life and have great success are those that are internally. Never let external conditions control your internal commitment. Never allow external conditions to control your internal commitment. Never allow external things in your life to control your internal commitment. Next, they expect to win. They just expect to win. I had a huge organization in Budapest, Hungary. And I think we had about 4,000 people at one of our events there. I asked the question when I walked down the platform, how many of you guys hope to be a millionaire? Everybody raised their hand. And I said, then you won't be a millionaire. You won't be a millionaire. 97% of the people in life hope to have a good marriage, hope to become wealthy, hope to have, you with me? 3% expect to have a great marriage, expect to have a good business. And if you don't think that's powerful, just get in front of a mirror and say this, I hope my No Dear business grows. I hope my No Dear business grows. And then say, I expect my No Dear business to grow. And just feel the endorphins, feel the difference in your mind. So 3% of the people expect to win, majority of the people hope to win. 3% recover quickly and move on. Some people just don't move on. They hold on to past failure. Some of you guys right now may have some challenges because you're holding on to the past of failure. You may have come into this business, into this Modera model, from another model, and you failed in it, or from another marriage and you failed in it, or finances you failed in it, and you cannot release that. Look, I know it's difficult. I know some things are really difficult, but sooner or later, you're going to have to release. You've got to recover and move on. Recover and move on. Why? You've got to be creating that energy for your people that love you and they want your brain. I was talking to my son about that today. Don't be held captive with negative people that are always having some sort of emotional breakdown. In other words, they're victims. Do not fall into that crap, okay? In other words, next one is edify others with words of action. 3%. In other words, edification, always building up. Using words of positive reinforcement. 97% just go around and listen. They destroy with words and actions. And get this one, 3% control their environment. 97% are controlled by their environment. If I could give you one of the key lessons this evening is as fast as you possibly can, you get people around you that will feed your dream. Anyone that doesn't feed your dream and plug into where you're going in life, you flush them. Now, I don't mean get rid of them. I mean just get rid of them. I mean just don't let their communications get into your head. I'm telling you, at the very beginning, we had a lot of family members. We could only see them on the holidays, okay? Because every time I was around them, they were always trying to steal our dream. And last, have a riveted focus on their purpose. And instead of, a lot of people, 97% of people are always trying to focus. I had a pastor friend of mine one time. He did a Green Bay Packers. He was the chaplain for the Green Bay Packers in their services. This is back when Green Bay was an incredible team. They went to the Super Bowl. He was looking around that room before he did his service. He saw all these giants, great ball players, big names, that all went into the Hall of Fame as time went on. And he kept saying, every NFL team has the same kind of beef. You only get so big, you only get so strong, you only get so fast. Everyone, within reason, are the same speed, same strength. Coaches are motivating. Why is it that the Green Bay Packers are just murdering people? And he thought, the best way to find out is just to ask some of the players. And he went around and he asked this one player, I think it was Art Starr back then, which many of you never heard that name, but he was a great player. And he asked him, what is it? What's your secret? And his response was, we have a riveted focus. All we think about is our success. All we do is put the game plan in front of us 24 hours, 7 days a week. Guys, what's your focus? Look, you get serious about this, and it's going to reward you well. I'll tell you right now, you can even play with this on the customer side, and you're going to get some money. But if you're in this to make some very serious money, then you need to get over in that world of 3%, and you will do quite well. So, hey, I appreciate you guys. I can't tell you enough. When I first got on, one of the ladies there said, Mr. Christian, I really appreciate you. I'll speak for Robert and Justin when I say this. We appreciate you so much more because, when we started this, we said, I know this is going to work. And then we had so many different little curveballs coming. And we try this, we try that. And now to see what's taking place, you guys are fulfilling my dreams by just seeing your dreams be fulfilled. And I can't say enough about that. So, hey, I love you guys. I appreciate you. It's going to be a great end of the month. Listen up to Mike and Joan. And, if you stay plugged in, you're upline, you're going to do well. Life's good. God bless everyone. Thanks, guys, for letting me on. Mike, Joan, thanks a lot.